currently reading this really interesting mystery thriller. It's about these two women who go to this support group for parents who have lost their children in really tragic ways. And what these two women have in common is that both of their daughters were brutally unalived by men who were never caught, never charged, never sent to jail, and they believe they know exactly who these men are. So in order to not get caught while getting their revenge, they almost like swap lives and they each go after the other one's daughter's unaliver. Does that make sense? Sorry I have to say unalived, it's just for like YouTube friendliness. But it's interesting, I'm only like 25% of the way in. The only thing I don't like is that there's like 5 different POVs. I can't keep track. I'm not good at that kind of thing. So anyways, I thought it'd be interesting for every so often I just tell you what I'm reading because I love books. By the way, everything that I just mentioned is literally on the back of the book, so I'm not spoiling anything. It's how they are advertising it. And yes, I do have an ACOTAR bookmark, okay? We're just gonna ignore that part. Guys, I have so many strange and unusual jewelry pieces, it's not even funny. What you just saw is not even the end of them. It might actually be fun to organize them in one of my videos, but today I chose to wear my gummy bear necklace. I actually made this, and I thought it might actually be cool to make this the free item of the day. So for the next 48 hours, if you get anything on our website, you will get a gummy bear necklace that I made, and it's cool because it comes in I think 6 different colors and they're all like sparkly and gorgeous. So I'll put a link to our website down below and I'm gonna get started with my day. Today I'm doing another story time and coloring, and I'm using the Creepy Cutie book again because there are so many cute pages that I would love to color in here. And today I chose this one, which is a girl with a skull. I mean, we all have skulls. I don't know. There's some monster protruding from her face, and I feel like I really want to color this. The story I'm gonna tell you also happened in my grade 11 year, and it was actually only a month after the previous events that I just told you about my best friend becoming obsessive and getting arrested and charged at school. She was sent to jail. So when this story is happening, I'm still in the trenches, I'm still recovering, I'm still going to therapy. And the reason why I avoided telling this story on my channel 10 years ago was because it still felt kind of fresh. And now that it's been 15 years since I've been in grade 11, I feel like enough time has passed where I can discuss it. And once again, this is all in my opinion. These are things that I experienced personally, and so this story can only really be in my point of view. I got rid of those watercolor markers and I bought these markers on Amazon. I have no idea if they're good. I really hope that they are, and there are so many colors to choose from. And so I just had this feeling that I want to do this girl's skin blue. I kind of want to make her like an alien and maybe do her hair purple. Now, just like my previous video, the events that I'm going to discuss are very sensitive, okay? There are some very disturbing elements. So if you don't want to hear about those kinds of things, this video might not be for you. And I also want to say that I do realize how similar this story is with my last one. A lot of the same events happened, which is crazy to me. It was like deja vu when this event was happening to me. So it all started when one of my friends from school came up to me one day. I believe I was in the cafeteria, and she said, "Hey Jess, you have a secret admirer." And I was really confused by this because, as you guys know, I was really shy back then. I didn't think any guys were looking at me. I just felt so awkward. But she was like, "No, you have a secret admirer. I know him. He's been talking about you a lot. He sees you around the school and he really likes you." So I was just shocked that someone had a crush on me, and I begged her to tell me who it was, but she wouldn't. And so I had to kind of just be in suspense about it. And I was walking around the school, like looking around me, trying to see if anyone was staring at me. It was really strange for me to experience. And I believe this went on for about 3 weeks where she would like see me on lunch at school and she would be like, oh, like so-and-so saw you leaving French class today and he loves your hair and he likes the outfit you're wearing today. Or like so-and-so saw you walking to the bus and he thinks you're so pretty. And so she would just give me all of these little details over like 3 weeks, and it was just making me more and more paranoid. I just desperately wanted to know who it was. And she would give me some hints. I would say things like, have I spoken to him before? And she would say no. I would say, is he in my grade? And she would say no. And I believe one day we were having a sleepover and I was like, okay, it's been long enough. You need to take me out of my misery and tell me who my secret admirer is. And so she pulled up his Facebook account, and it truly was someone that I had never seen around the school before. I had never heard about this person before. They kind of had this like punk rock aesthetic. And so I found him to be really intriguing. And I don't know what got into me, but I decided that night I was gonna message him. I kind of wanted to confront him, not in like a rude way or any sort of intense way. I just kind of wanted the like secretive admirer thing to be over with so we can just like talk as human beings. And so I don't remember what exactly I said to him when I reached out, but we ended up talking like the entire night. He seemed super nice. And it took us a little while before we felt confident enough to like meet up at school. But I remember like in the first few days after we were talking, I would like start to see him in the halls from a distance and stuff, and I would be like, oh, like that's the guy. And once we actually met in person, it was pretty cool. We would like have lunch together, and we definitely did have sort of a friendship dynamic, even though I knew that he liked me more than that. And I really feel like I need to speed up this story because obviously like there's all kinds of things that happen over a period of a month. But just know that we slowly got closer and closer, and eventually we were, you know, talking a ton and staying up until 3 in the morning talking. And honestly, we got really close to the point where it started to remind me of the dynamic that I had with my best friend who was arrested, where things very quickly got intense. Like we were very close, and I started to see the toxicity in that because I had just gone through that. It got to the point where like if I didn't answer his text in, you know, a couple hours, he would actually show up to my house. Even if it was like in the middle of the night, he would text me and be like, are you okay? Why aren't you answering my text? Like, I'm outside your house. What's crazy is like he couldn't drive at the time, so he would have had to walk all the way from his neighborhood to my neighborhood, which would have definitely taken him like 2 hours to do. And this was all happening in the middle of winter. So it was like minus 20 degrees Celsius out there, but he would still show up outside my house. And I was 16 years old at the time, so I was obviously living with my parents, and they would definitely not allow me outside of the house at midnight. And so there were actually some times where my dad like caught me like looking out the window at this guy, and he'd be like, why is there someone outside right now? And I would have to be like, I don't know, Dad, like I don't really know why he's here. And it really was creeping out my parents. Once again, especially because we had just been through the whole thing with my best friend. And so I think it was a mix between my parents and my own self convincing me to stop talking to this guy. And it did kind of suck because I really did enjoy our conversations, but like I said, I noticed that it was becoming too much too quickly, and I was falling into the same hole that I was before. So I think I texted him like, hey, I think we need to stop talking for a little while. It's getting a little too intense. And he didn't take it well at all, kind of in the same way that my friend did. And isn't that like crazy, guys? The fact that I had just gone through that whole ordeal and this was happening all over again with a different person. And maybe that's another reason why I didn't tell these stories on my channel, because I think I was afraid that people would be like, there's no way these are true. Like there's no way the same thing could happen again to one person in a period of 2 months. And like, I totally get it. I totally see that. It sounds unbelievable. It's important to note that this guy was very into, I guess, medieval weapons. He had a lot of them hung up on the wall in his room, specifically very old like very decorative swords that would have like rubies and all kinds of like beautiful detail on them hung up on his wall. He also collected very decorative knives, and he was just like into that stuff. The day of the incident, I was in the cafeteria before class, sitting down with a couple of my friends, and I remember him like running into the cafeteria looking very distressed and saying like, Jess, I need to talk to you, I need to talk to you. And I remember thinking that it reminded me of when my friend had run into the bathroom looking distressed, wanting to talk to me, grabbing my arms. I mean, I truly was dealing with PTSD. And so I told him like, I can't deal with this. I'm so sorry. Like, we can't talk right now. And I just reiterated what I had told him in the text. And he looked very defeated. And I think he was even saying things like, I can't live without you. I can't live without you. It was crazy because I had only known him for like 4 weeks, and so I just couldn't grasp that. And so I let him run off, and I went to my class, I believe it was English class, and I sat down, and soon after I got into class, my teacher received a phone call, and she looked really, really scared, and she immediately shut our classroom door and locked it. And she told all of us like, hey, like, don't leave for a bathroom break. You can't leave the room at all. Just stay put at your desks and I'll tell you when you can leave. And we were all so confused. I believe there was even a PA announcement telling everyone to stay in their classrooms. Now, there are, I believe, 3 different kinds of lockdowns at a school. Obviously, level 3 is like the most intense, right? I believe this was a level 1 lockdown where we just had to like stay put. I think the announcement that went over the school even told students in the hallways to just go into the closest classroom that they saw. So I had no idea what was happening. I was so confused. And there was a guy who was sitting beside me in class, and he said something like, did you see what happened down by the cafeteria right before class? And as soon as he said cafeteria, my heart sunk, because that is where I last saw that guy. But I was like, no, I didn't see anything. What happened? And he had said that there was this whole scene with the ambulance running in, police running in, and one of the students was being put onto a stretcher and being taken out of the school. And I just like immediately knew that it was that guy. Just right away I knew it was that guy somehow. And so once the teacher said that it was okay to leave the class, I ran right to the office and I said I wanted to speak to the principal, and he took me into a back room and he was like, what do you know? And I said, was it this guy that was just taken out of the school? And the principal was like, yes, tell us what you know. So I just told the principal what had been happening with us, and then I found out that this guy had taken one of his like large decorative, when I say decorative, like it's still functional, it's still like sharp and everything, it's a very extreme looking sword. He had put it in his backpack, taken it to school, and he had gone into the men's bathroom and he had plunged it into his stomach, and then proceeded to walk down the hallway of the school while he was dripping puddles all over the floor, and a bunch of students saw it. It was a very disturbing scene to witness, and obviously the police were called, the ambulance was called, and the reason why the school didn't go into a full lockdown was because he had no intent to harm anyone else but himself. And because what he did to himself was so extreme, he was in no state to even hurt anybody else. I think he took like 10 steps and passed out in the school hallway. And so once I heard that, I felt incredibly guilty, because I just was thinking to myself, if I had just heard him out when he ran to me that morning, if I had just spoken to him, maybe he wouldn't have done that. And it took me many therapy sessions to realize that you don't control other people, right? They ultimately make the decisions that they're gonna make, and there's nothing that I can do to change that. But I did feel very guilty, which obviously looking back as an adult, I shouldn't have felt that way, right? He also had given me no sign that he was going to harm himself, so it's not like I could have even have gone to a teacher or anyone to tell them that that was gonna happen. I had no clue. I knew he was a little bit unstable, but I just did not know how extreme it was going to get. I think at this point, the principal and the teachers thought that I was some very strange anomaly, and they couldn't understand how I was always associated with these big events happening in the school, and I just couldn't comprehend it either. Now, this guy, he was ultimately taken to a psych ward, and I believe he was there for a couple weeks, and because I was feeling so guilty, I was writing letters to him and giving those letters to his mom and begging her to give those to him, and I believe that she did. And I believe I even got one letter from him at some point back. And I don't even think my parents knew that I was doing that, because once again, they wanted to protect me from all of these people that I was associating with. Now, the reason why this video is even called My Boyfriend is because after about 6 months of us not talking, we ended up actually dating for a number of years. He had come back and apologized and seemed to have gotten a lot of assistance with his mental health and was doing better, but ultimately that relationship was also toxic, and that is why we're not together today. And I don't know, in times like this, I feel really blessed and grateful to have met Ty, who is my husband, because he's stable and loving and kind, and it really just makes me feel like I'm in such a better place. And it really just shows me that even though you can go through some pretty traumatizing, terrible things, you can still have a bright future. Don't worry. After that second event, I was able to go through the rest of my grade 11 year and my grade 12 year with nothing crazy happening. And I was actually able to make a lot of really great new friends because I wasn't around these other people. And yeah, I graduated actually really happy, and I went into college with a great new perspective and met new friends in college. And yeah, looking back, my high school was crazy, but there is something healing about just getting these things off of my chest. I feel like this new channel direction has really just allowed me to like kind of put these things to the side after I let them out and kind of move on with my life. And once again, I'm sorry that I didn't get a lot of this done. I feel like I just like talk. So I'm gonna like sit here and finish off coloring this, and I'll show you when I'm done. All right, here is the finished piece, except I was too lazy to do the background. And also a marker dripped right on her hair. So just ignore that. Another story time and coloring masterpiece. We're gonna play a little game called gift card roulette, because for some reason we have kept like 20 gift cards from Christmases and birthdays. Why haven't you used these?
Because I don't leave the house.
Like there's things that boys like what? Home Depot, Canadian Tire, Best Buy, the beer store. Like,
you know, which is fantastic for me because I can drink so much beer.
You're not gluten-free or anything.
No, it's not like I have celiac disease.
So this is how the game works. We're gonna splay these out. Ty's probably gonna have to shuffle them. And then I'm gonna choose at random a gift card, and we have to go there today and use the gift card.
I thought I wasn't going outside today.
No, you have to. Shuffle! I thought it'd be more epic than that.
Well, there's one very obvious card because the back of it is like jet black.
Well, I'll close my eyes. I won't look.
I feel like that's probably the better way of doing this, because there's also one that's shaped very weird too.
Yeah, I think the Walmart one has straight edges.
The Best Buy one's shaped like a tag.
Okay, yeah, I won't look. I'll close my eyes.
Close your eyes.
But now I can't feel where they are.
This.
Where? Oh, there they are.
Just smack them out of my hand.
Tell me when you're ready.
Go wherever.
Red Lobster!
Is that actually one that we haven't used?
I don't know, but this is my favorite restaurant.
No, I don't think we've used this one yet.
I know you're not happy about that, but that means, because I'm also doing a video for TikTok, that means I'm gonna go book shopping and Red Lobster. This is my day.
It is your day.
This is literally my day.
Looking at the back of this card, I think we got this one in 2019.
Well, we're gonna have to see, won't we?
It's almost 6 years old.
Hopefully there's still money on it. Let's go. On our way to Red Lobster, and we had to stop at Indigo first, and I got 3 books. I got My Darling Girl, which I already own, but this is a different color, well, and design. I got The Poppy War, which is a high fantasy that everyone's been recommending on TikTok, so we're gonna see if I can trust them on that. And I also got A Sea of Unspoken Things, which is like a mystery novel. I just hate when they put the sticker on the cover, because now I have to peel it off and it leaves residue and it's just not fun. We're on our way to eat. And by the way, I had to look up the statistics on this whole gift card thing. Apparently 19% of gift cards don't get used, which is crazy because it's literally just like free money sitting around. So this is your heads up. Check your purse, check your wallet, use those gift cards. Alright guys, moment of truth. We had no idea how much was on the gift card, so we were really scared. But apparently there was $22. So that was awesome. It was like $80 to $60. Perfect meal.
I was expecting like $2 maybe.
We were like $1.50 or something because we've definitely used the card like 3 times or twice or something. So worked out. Hope you guys enjoyed our vlog and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.